do you retire a millionaire with a low salary? My name is Darius.
And I'm Carmen. It is absolutely possible to do so because it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And by the end of this video, we are going to give you 6 tips that you can start implementing today to ensure you have a cushy retirement.
So how many videos have we made where you heard us say, it's not about the dollar amount, it's about the percentage of your income that you keep?
Not all the videos.
Most of them.
So the very first point is going to be live within your means and focus on that percentage. I don't care what dollar amount you have. There are going to be people, let's say you get $1 million every year. There's some people that don't live within their means, so it really doesn't matter to be a millionaire. So what you want to do is you want to be able to live within your means, operate within a percentage of your income.
And that's a very good point. I'm so glad that you brought that up because a lot of times people think that just because people make a ton of money, that they are keeping a ton of money. And that's not always the case. So that's why we want to continue to hammer home that you have to live within your means in order to make ends meet so that you can continue to fund your retirement appropriately. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to happen if you are living outside of your means. And what we mean by that is if you make, $5,000 a month and you're spending $6,000 of it, trying to figure out, where that's coming from. So you're either going into debt, whatever the case may be is happening, or your house may be costing you too much, your cars may be costing you too much. You really have to understand that the different ratios and in terms of your housing expenses are concerned to make sure that you're living well within your means.
Right. Now, the second point is you want to start as soon as you can putting money aside for your retirement. If you want to get to that $1 million, start saving and investing early. Mm-hmm. The earlier you do it, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. And also considering, right, when we talk about saving money for retirement, the other thing to note is that you have to keep in mind that this money that you're putting aside is going to be subjected to inflation, right? A big piece of this is inflation and could be taxes depending on where you're storing your money. But the idea is just understanding that if I save $1 million today, that $1 million fast forward 10, 20, 30 years from now may not be the same value. So that's why it's important, again, to make sure you understand up front how much money you need to be saving to accommodate for the heavy inflation that you may see when it comes time for you to retire.
Right. And it's really important for us to not get caught up in the dollar amount because $1 today isn't the same dollar tomorrow. So yes, we're creating a video on how to be a millionaire when you retire. Well, it starts with the habits that you have, because you might have $1 million. That doesn't mean that you can spend it. Yeah. Because it's really important for us to, like we said in the first point, is just live within our means, live within a percentage of our income. And moving on to the third point, start small. Start where you are right now. Where you are right now is a reflection of just where you want to be in the future, living off that percentage of income. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be talked about a lot in this video, because a lot of times what happens is people see somebody else and see what they have and don't realize or understand what they had to do to go about getting that, or what they sacrificed to get that, or how much debt they're in to have whatever they have. And then we go and try to do the same thing and put ourselves in a not so good position for our future selves.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because you can't always assume what people have. Like you said, you can't keep up with the Joneses, and you can only do what you can do. So that's why starting small, or starting where you are, most importantly, is the big topic that we want to stress. And if you need help organizing your finances, if you want to get involved in using whole life insurance as an asset, then definitely click on the link below. Our team would love to serve you so that we can continue to help you accomplish your goals as it pertains to you retiring with $1 million or plus more dollars to ensure that you have the cash flow that you need to sustain your lifestyle.
Now, the fourth point is the fact that consistency is key. So you want to automate as much as you can. I can't tell you how important this is, because when we think about, for example, when we want to invest into our retirement account at work, it comes out of our check automatically. We have to have that same consistency with what we build outside of that retirement account that our employer creates for us. Because here's the thing. Our employer, we're only able to invest a certain amount. We need to also start creating a portfolio outside of that to help us get to that retirement goals that we set for ourselves. The key to getting to that $1 million mark is what you do yourself, not just banking on what your employer does. So if you can automate it just like your employer, then you set yourself up to hit those goals that you set for yourself.
I'm so glad you made that point, because that was something that I don't think that I fully comprehended when I was working in corporate America. I was just, I'm going to use this one 401k to make everything work, and I'm not going to look at anything outside of me. So going into that point is, what are you also doing consistently that is allowing you to bring home friends, right? Money with friends is called interest. So if it's apart from your retirement account, what else are you doing to invest, to create cash flow? Is it real estate? Is it bonds? Is it, doing other investing on the side, with mutual funds or whatever it is that you're doing? The idea is you need to diversify, meaning you need to have money tied up in other assets so that you can make sure that if stocks goes down, that at least real estate can overshadow what's happening, and vice versa.
Yeah, and the only way you can do this is if you consistently put money aside to invest in these different opportunities. And you may not have it tomorrow, but if you consistently doing over time, you will accumulate enough funds to where you can make these investments, and then those investments you can buy more investments. So it's really about your consistency and automating that process.
Absolutely.
Now, the fifth point is, you have to watch your expenses. You have to make sure that you're, again, not trying to keep up with the Joneses, because what happens is that takes away from the amount of money that you can invest if you're in debt. When you are in debt, you overpay for whatever you're in debt for. So that not only are you spending money that you have, you're also using your future earning potential as collateral, which you need that for your investments. If you want to hit your goals, don't put yourself in that position.
And it's easier said than done. And at any point in your financial journey, you can be caught up with the Joneses, whether if it's your family or your friends. People are saying, hey, let's go on this vacation, or let's go here and let's do that. And you may not be able to afford it.
Especially when you can afford it.
That's
the hard part, when you're consistently saving and you have the money where you can afford to go on these trips, or you can afford the Gucci belt. That's the problem. You spend your cash when your cash could have been used for investing.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that, because I was coming from the fact of you can't afford it and you're going into debt to try to keep up with the Joneses. But the other point of that, if I don't want to reiterate what Darius just said, but it's when you can afford it, like you said, because that's where the discipline comes into play. Is just because I see this money here doesn't mean that I should be spending it. Right. And then the other point that we say to kind of bookmark that is, if you can buy something twice, meaning that Gucci belt, if you could buy it twice, then that means that you can afford it. But if you can only buy it once or 1.5, you're not quite there. So once you can really have a good thermometer as far as knowing how to make certain purchases, especially once you start having money accumulate, the best thing to do is to look at whatever that item is and say, can I buy it twice? And if you can, then go for it. If not, then we need to do a little bit more money work.
Now, here's the thing. This is the reason why everybody isn't rich, because habits are hard to break, and habits it's really hard to keep. Also, when you have something going against you, like the shiny object syndrome, it's really hard to say no. So what you have to do is you have to put have a good foundation, dig your feet down really deep so that you're immovable, and stay focused on your goals, because your goals, your savings goal and your investment goals and your retirement goals are your priority number one. So have your priorities in order.
And it goes back to like your goal has to be, the strongest thing possible, so that if any wants creep in that you're trying to buy, your goal has to be stronger than the wants that you may want to buy. So that's also another barometer that you can use to keep your spending in place.
Yeah.
Is this purchase going to keep me from accomplishing my goal? And if it hurts, then you have the right goal in place.
Right. Now, the sixth point is to increase your income, not your lifestyle. Really look out for that lifestyle creep, because as our income increases,
lifestyle creep,
as bonuses come in, what you're going to start doing is you're going to start buying the new cars. You're going to start getting the bigger house. When that doesn't get you to your goals faster. If anything, it slows you down. So what you should do instead is that additional money that you get from an increase in income, put that towards your retirement, put that towards your savings so that you can make money from the money that you earn.
Act as if it doesn't exist, because the long-term goal, right, is you want to get your income to the point where your income is making money so that you aren't working so hard for money. And I love exactly what you're talking about, as if when your income increases, then it's time for you to take that income and put it into some seed money to start funding something else so that it can start generating principal and interest for you. So come at this from a strategic play. Instead of increasing your lifestyle, allow your income to be what increases your retirement fund.
Now, we just gave you 6 tips on how to get to $1 million in retirement, even at a low income. Then another thing we want you to take in consideration is not using the 4% rule for your retirement. And you can check out this video right here. Remember to own your own lifestyle,
or someone else will.